Hey folks, it is Tuesday, December 21st. The time right now is 1:20 p.m. and the temperature is around 3 degrees Celsius. And I am here in downtown Toronto, and this would be Bay Street. And just on my right is the Toronto Eaton Centre. And given that we're just about 4 days away from Christmas, I thought I would take a walk around the mall. And this is Dundas Street West. And there is a lineup to get into Canadian Tire right now. But before I head through the Eaton Centre, I think we'll go for a quick walk through the Atrium on Bay here. And I'll head east through the Atrium over to Yonge Street, then I'll cross the street and we'll head through the Eaton Centre. All right, I gotta put my mask on here. I was originally planning on doing an Eaton Centre walk a little bit later on, perhaps more towards the evening, and maybe in a few days from now on the 23rd, but given that there's new capacity limits in place, I don't really think things will be a whole lot different than they would be now. I believe as of last Saturday, shopping malls are now limited to 50% capacity. Although I have no idea how they're supposed to keep tabs on that. So this is not the Eaton Centre. And here's a food court. And you do have to show your proof of 2 shots in order to get into the seated eating area. And this place is a 1 million square foot retail and office complex. It was built on the site of the former Ford Hotel. And it opened up back in 1981. And this is why it's called the Atrium. It's kind of a neat view. It reminds me of some hotels I've been to. And despite being so close to the Eaton Centre, it's not particularly popular for shopping. It is connected to the subway, and it's also connected to the path via the Eaton Centre. So technically, I could set off from here and find myself in downtown Montreal without ever having stepped foot outside. So I'll just head up to the second level. And there's the Canadian flagship Muji store. And the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation's prize center is right here. So if you won the big one, that's where you'd go collect your prize. So straight ahead here will kick us out onto Yonge Street. There used to be a pickle barrel just here on the right, but that shut down during the pandemic. And we have emerged onto Yonge Street. And there's a look north. And there's Young Dundas Square just across the street. So I'll take that entrance there into the Eaton Centre. And this guy has been a fixture in this intersection for quite a while.
My friend? Where are you going to get married, my friend?
It's always an interesting time to be had out here. All right, let's head into the Eaton Centre, which opened back in 1977. And it is the busiest shopping center in North America. And it's also Toronto's most visited tourist attraction, although I'm not sure if you could really call a mall a tourist attraction. There's the Samsung store and a Uniqlo. And a huge H&M. I think this is one of the H&Ms that has a home store in it. So I'm going to head down here. You could cut through Nordstrom there. And Canadian Tire had controls in place to limit their crowd, but they don't seem to have them here. And you could connect to Canadian Tire this way, although I think it's closed on the inside portion of the mall. You could also find yourself over to Best Buy or Ryerson University. And there's the entrance to Dundas subway station just behind me. So it seems to be reasonably busy. So in most public settings, the province has limited capacity to 50%. That includes restaurants, bars, and other entertainment establishments, as well as personal care services, gyms and personal fitness trainers, as well as retailers. Maybe the capacity of the mall is so big, they don't even bother to try to restrict that. Maybe there's an exception. I really don't know. They've also limited the amount of people who can be seated at a restaurant, as well as indoor gatherings. And if you go to a movie theater, you can't have any food or drink. Canadian personalized ornaments. All right, so what I'll do is I'm going to loop back around through this area, or this part of the mall, but through some different floors. I'm going to head down to the food court, which is directly below us. I'll walk through that, and then I'll come back through the level that's just below us here. I think that's the most efficient way to cover off the northern end of the mall without backtracking. So I'll head down through the food court here, and then I'll come back along that hall. And this side was all a department store at one point. Or at least from where Nordstrom begins. And I guess it still is a department store, but the lower floors have been opened up and converted into mall space. And down here, there used to be a Gap. Now it's a Sport Check. And to get into the seated area, you do have to show proof of vaccination. And even though it's a Tuesday afternoon, there's often a Hunger Games situation if you want to get yourself a seat. And if you see dirty food on the tables and you think that Canadians are just pigs, there's actually signs on the table telling you to leave your garbage there. And the reason for that is that way their staff know that that table needs to be wiped down and cleaned. So if you're like me and you'd normally shake your head and shoot a dirty look at those people as being kind, animals that leave their trays on the table and just walk away, that is now a thing. You're not just allowed to do it, you're encouraged to do it. There's the Big Smoke Burger. And some of these side areas here probably aren't worth the effort of putting a security guard here to check everyone coming through. There's a Sparrow. You see that everywhere. The Eaton Centre used to have 2 food courts, but the one over by Queen has been removed, and they expanded this one into a mega food court. And look at this lineup. What do you do first? Do you get your food and then go stand around hoping you get a table, or do you go get a table and then leave to get your food and then line up to come back in? Jugo juice has been there forever. And just up these stairs and escalators here, you'll find the subway station. And this is the bottom floor of H&M. Hot Topic. That's a store I only know about from South Park. It's kind of funny to see a real one. I think this new wave of restrictions has kind of put a damper on the Christmas spirit. There's a look down at the food court. And GameStop, which was recently EB Games. And there's the Blue Jays store. Hopefully they'll be able to fill the stadium up when they come back to town in spring. So maybe it's just the mall just opens and then the onus is on the individual retailers to limit their capacity. Some of them seem to have queues and lineups, and others are just wide open. And here's where I just was, where I went down into the food court. And you can see the bottom of the huge Christmas tree just up ahead. I have cut through the Eaton Centre on a couple of videos briefly within the last month or so. So here's where the Microsoft store used to be. Yes. Oh, there's an Under Armour store. I'm wearing what I guess you could call my backup Under Armour running shoes right now. And here's the Christmas tree. And yeah, that is supremely fake. I doubt there's too many trees in the natural world or at tree farms that could even be trimmed to look like this. So we are entering where the old food court used to be. I said fort for some reason. Not much of a look at the tree from this floor. As I move up, we'll get a better view. And there's definitely a lot more decorations to be seen in the upper floors. But if you need to do some last-minute shopping, it's really not so bad to come here on a weekday afternoon during the week of Christmas. So on the south end of the Eaton Centre here, you'll find Queens subway station. And the old food court used to be just over there. And Queen Street would be just to the south there. And there's a pedestrian bridge that was put in back in 2017 to replace the old one, just on the second floor above. I think I'll be walking through there possibly at the end of this one. All right, let's head back north. And here's the Apple store. It used to be located a floor above. This seems to be a lot more hardcore than when I was here a few months ago. There are measures at the door. I had to go there to get my iPhone 12 fixed, which they kind of fixed. And there's the tree straight ahead. So on the north and south side, or rather the east and west side, you can leave the mall. You could head out to Yonge Street there. That would be the east side. And to the west side, you could head out to James Street and Albert's Way, as well as find your way through Trinity Square, which is just to the north of here. And there's a number of really nice outdoor decorations there. And there's another look up at the tree. I'm committing a cardinal sin. I am going against the arrows. I'll get myself back over to the right side in a second. Although there seems to be a steady flow of people swimming upstream. So I went down those escalators earlier. So we'll head up this one. There's Nordstrom straight ahead, formerly an Eaton's department store. And this is the part of the mall that used to be part of the department store. Eaton's later became a Sears. And now it's a smaller Nordstrom. So there's been a couple of higher end retail department stores moving into the Eaton Centre. Well, I guess Saks Fifth Avenue is technically on the south side, but there's Saks and Nordstrom now. And there's even a Nordstrom Rack. And that's up at Yonge and Bloor. I mentioned Trinity Square earlier and all its neat decorations. And that is just out here. And even though it's daytime, it's neat that they got the lights on. And I think up here is where you'll find Santa. We're just gonna take a quick peek. Or it might have been on the other end of the mall. No, it's right here. We'll take a quick look at that area. So there's Santa. He's having a sip of water there. And he's got to put his Santa mask back on. I guess you sit next to him in that big bench. I always thought it was kind of weird that kids would be sitting on some random guy's lap. Yeah, I know it's Santa, and most places probably do their due diligence. It always just struck me as one of those weirder things that we do. So maybe this Santa adjacent approach will stick. I'm gonna head back down and then we'll walk across the top here. And that'll be it for the Eaton Centre. Maybe I'll cross that pedestrian bridge. There is an Aesop store. If you're in my inner circle, you can look for some gifts from there for Christmas. That's my way of spilling the beans as to what I got pretty much everyone. I've only been in here 30 minutes and I already have mall fatigue.
Why would they do that?
Gonna turn around here and get another view of the tree. There's someone taking a picture. Okay. Mission accomplished.
As soon as one person comes out, we'll be able to let you in, okay? Thank you.
There was the Drake store. OVO. OVO. I don't know how to say it. There's definitely a lot of higher end boutique stores up in this level. And of course, the famous geese. I heard if you try to post a picture of these in a commercial publication, and it's only featuring that art, the original artist might try to go after you. I don't know if that's true or not. But it's in a public space, so whatever. Now we'll leave the Eaton Centre and head into the Hudson's Bay and Saks Fifth Avenue.
No.
And here's Queen Street. I think this section of Queen Street will be closed for quite a while they build the Ontario line. That's a look. It's a new subway line going in. And there's a look at Old City Hall. New City Hall is just beyond that. And a look just towards Yonge Street off to the east. All right, let's play a game of how expensive are some of these things. Okay, I usually try to guess one of these pairs here. These Versace shoes, I'm gonna say $1,100. $850. It's a steal, folks. There's what a guy recording through a shopping mall looks like. Although, I'm gonna go head up to Best Buy. They had a 4 terabyte external drive on sale. I am fresh out of room on all my stuff. All right, I have screwed up and ended up somewhere I don't want to be. I think I can leave right here. Ooh, push, dummy. Although it did say automatic door. And now we're outside, so I'm just gonna walk around the mall here. So if you're just tuning in for the mall, I understand if you want to cut bait on this video. I'm gonna head north up Yonge. Although I could have just gone to Bay, or even just to the west side of the mall and went north there. Yonge's more interesting. So that's the mall, obviously, on my left. Although I think this facade went in the early 2000s at some point. I think it looked kind of like a big submarine at the side of the road before that. There's Massey Tower. And here is Shooter Street. So I'm going to go left here at Dundas Street. Maybe I'll poke around Best Buy a bit more and see if they have anything else that tickles my fancy, but really, I'm completely out of storage space. And rather than reorganize and purge some things I don't think I really need, I think I'm just gonna get another hard drive, because why not? I also have a special use in mind for it. So it's not entirely all for naught. I'm a big proponent of electric scooters, and I think it's beyond stupid that City Council has technically banned them in the city, but thankfully our police look the other way. But I am against riding them on the sidewalk. They do not belong here. So I was last at this intersection probably about 35 minutes ago in this video. This guy's still here. And if you're ever wondering how these share bikes are serviced, you had some portable battery packs in there. I'm wondering if those are for the e-bikes. Please keep off the planter beds. This is a nice touch. And I'm almost at Best Buy, so I hope you enjoyed this December 21st, almost Christmas walk through the Atrium on Bay over there, and then the Eaton Centre, and then I cut through Saks Fifth Avenue and went north up Yonge Street to Yonge and Dundas, and now I'm about to disappear into Best Buy. I'll be turning the camera off. And I think the item I want is in stock. If you wish to support the channel, there's links to my Patreon and channel membership in the description. I also have an Instagram account. And there's a link to PayPal as well as merch. All right. Well, I hope you all have a Merry Christmas if I don't see you until then. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.